Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. We don't like to be told the truth if we are dishonest with ourselves. If we are dishonest with ourselves, then someone else exposing our behavior and maybe some negative traits that we have hurt us. Therefore, we don't like that. But if you are aware of those traits, and if you face them and you say, yes, and I'm trying to change them, or you get to terms with the fact that you might never be able to change those traits, then if someone says, yes, you are like this, or yes, you did this, it's not going to upset you because you already went over that. You realized, yes, that's what it is. I've been trying and I realize I can't, or I've been trying and I'm working on it. And because I see that I can change. Therefore, there's a saying in Romania, the honest person is not bothered by the truth. This is, I think, the one of the justifications why. What happens here? We have here the United States of America, who possesses nuclear weapons and professes that it's the best handler of the nuclear weapons in a way that they know best, like how everybody else should, take care of their weapons, nuclear weapons, who should have nuclear weapons, who should not have, because somehow they think that they know the best, and should be appointed, and they self-appoint themselves into the position, moral authority of deciding on nuclear weapons, and always points fingers. Now we have China, and China also possesses nuclear weapons, and China is not in a very good friendship with United States at this point. They haven't been for some time already. They didn't push it to the next level, which is public. Right? It was over there, you can see here and there, pam pam pam, but now it's public. And they just, jab, pam pam, boom boom. So what happened now? We have the Chinese government calling the United States the world's primary nuclear threat. US should not be upset with that if they know that's true. The key word, if true. But we're going to analyze if that is true or not. And then the United States, if it's true, should not be upset, as I said, if you are intellectually sincere, or you really are moral, as you say you are. So this comes from Russia Today, obviously, from March 4th, 2023. Washington's charges against China's nuclear arsenal are merely a pretext to continue expanding its own, the foreign ministry has said. Now remember, this is China that can afford to say such a thing, especially now when they're upset. They're at a low. But when they're at the high, they don't make this kind of, claims. They're a little bit more diplomatic or weasel-like. They keep it, okay, I know you're an asshole. Well, I'm one too. So let the world go as it's going, like they don't know. The United States is a top, and I'm quoting, nuclear threat in the world. China has said, accusing Washington of seeking to maintain, and I'm quoting, military hegemony, and quote, over the nations after US officials declared the need to rein in Beijing's much smaller weapons program. Again, somehow the country that used not nuclear weapons, atomic weapons twice on civilians tells someone else that actually we should harness and see what the hell you're doing because because we know. I remember many times here in the United States on the TV and other people that I had conversations with, intelligent people, intellectuals, telling me that the reason why we are in the position of moralizing everybody else regarding nuclear weapons is because we did it and we know how it is. And for me it was like, so that means you should be in charge because you committed a crime twice? Yes. Okay. So then, as I always give this example, that means that a perpetual, let's say, rapist should be put in charge of the rapist that was never charged, convicted, mind you. But everybody knows he's a rapist. You put him in charge of, I don't know, as a student women or female dormitory, because he knows how rape is, and he's, you know what I mean. Would you do that if your daughter would be in that dorm? I guarantee you not. Anyway, or do you think she would do that? I don't think so. It's only one example. Another example, put these guys in the, I don't know, investigative department, an investigation department, and a police office or department. And they investigate, I don't know, child abuse, or they investigate, human trafficking and rapes and all that. And he's a chief or an investigator. Why? Because he knows. Remember, he did it. We know it. He doesn't deny it. He was never convicted for his crime. So no penalties for him. And he's now in charge. So we don't even know if he really said, oh, I'm sorry about that, it was a mistake. No. On the contrary, he said, no, I had the urge. I think she might have liked it. What kind of justification this is? So again, but they somehow moralize everybody else. And then they expect everybody to love them. And if you don't love them, they would make you love them. And then they ask, why do they hate us? Why? They hate our freedom. Here we go again. I think it's a delusional mentality, and dangerous, because you have the power to do whatever you want based on your delusion. Speaking to reporters during a press briefing on Friday, Foreign Ministry spokesperson, if that's person over there, I think she's a woman. So spokeswoman Mao Ning was asked to respond after a top security advisor to US President Joe Biden stated the White House needed to, and I'm quoting, invest China in work to diminish nuclear threats. Okay, what is the US, one of the US nuclear protocols? They have the right to use nuclear weapons preemptively. So, and you talk about the what? Diminish nuclear threat. So if United States consider this a threat from, let's say, Hungary, they have the right to do whatever they do best. Help people, bring democracy, and show them the light. And how can you see the light? Only when you're dead. So you figure things out. Calling China and I'm quoting this lady here. I don't know if she's a lady, but she's a woman definitely. Calling China a nuclear threat is a convenient pretext for the US to expand its own nuclear arsenal and keep its military hegemony. End quote. She said. I mean, why do you put over a spokesperson when you have here she said? She said, insisting China has maintained and I'm quoting, prudent and responsible nuclear policy in stark, where is that? Contrast to Washington's. I think she is right, at least from the Chinese perspective. She maintained a prudent and responsible nuclear policy. I never heard China, I never heard, maybe you guys did, never heard China threatening or dangling their nuclear weapons at anybody's heads or face. So let's move on and see what else is here. Following a foreign ministers meeting in New Delhi earlier on Friday by the four-way Quad alliance consisting of the US, Japan, Australia, and India, officials also issued a statement deeming the, and I'm quoting, use of nuclear weapons inadmissible, end quote. Though the remark was not explicitly aimed at Beijing, the Quad grouping, at the time dubbed an, and I'm quoting, Asian NATO, has frequently pointed to alleged threats posed by China in the Indo-Pacific region. And I'm quoting, China has stated our position on Quad on multiple occasions. We believe that the state-to-state cooperation needs to be consistent with a trend of peace and development, end quote, rather than about creating exclusionary regional alliances. Mao continued, going on to note the upcoming nuclear technology transfer from the US to Australia under the separate AUKUS Pact. And I'm quoting, the US has also built small blocks reminiscent of the Cold War by bolstering extended deterrence and conducting nuclear submarine cooperation, end quote, she said. Further steps for the trilateral AUKUS agreement, which also includes the UK, are said to be revealed later this month, with officials hoping that for a seamless transfer of nuclear propulsion technology from Washington to Canberra. Beijing has previously slammed the deal for advancing, and I'm quoting, nuclear proliferation around the world, given that Australia lacks its own domestic capability for the sensitive tech. It's okay. That's what these guys are saying. And again, if you don't take into consideration the other side's feelings sometimes, or at least concerns, then you get in trouble. Things escalate. After all, if you try to profess again a peaceful collaboration and cohabitation on this planet, then you have a few ways to do that. One is by you being the boss and smacking everybody else, which would be you're the master, the other ones are slaves. But you always will be in danger of being, strangled in your sleep, by your slaves, on uprising somehow, somewhere. And that's not I thought we are beyond that, but we are not, because we're human after all, and we pretend we are all this civilized and all this, but on the other hand, our actions show something else, and it shows that still the person with the biggest club is the boss in town. So we didn't learn anything. We're still the same cave people. See how politically correct I was? So they want to transfer, according to the Chinese, technology to Australia, nuclear technologies, like, for instance, the Russians transferring some nuclear technology for some atomic nuclear, atomic submarines, not nuclear submarines, atomic submarines, whatever, to Iran. Or something, a little bit of nuclear weapons deployed in Iran. Russian nuclear weapons, not Iranian, just Russian, under the Russian control, like the Americans have in, not nuclear, but they have in Romania and Poland. And it's A-OK, Russia, just take it easy. They're not aimed at you. Like, I'm an idiot, I can't look over the map and see where Poland is. No, they're aimed at Iran. Okay, yeah, and I'm a dumbass. Yeah, yes, you are. Continue being that. Thank you very much for your cooperation. So yeah, again, this guy calls everybody this, and they have the biggest hunchback, if you know what I mean. That reminds me of Arthur Schopenhauer, one of my favorite philosophers, when he said that we all have a hunchback. We all humans. Hunchback being, like baggage, luggage, ugly shit, closets, how you want to call it. And we, when we go outside and we interact with other people, we keep, when we talk to people, you keep this face. So if you don't turn sideways in a profile, so they don't see your shit. That's why you always show your good side. Hey, look at me. We all do that, more or less, unless there are some crazies who don't give up. That's what I am, that's what you get, okay? So the pretense of this, and the United States is using this pretense of I'm like this, I don't see anything over there, I have the biggest one, but I'm just, look at me. But they all see you, you got mirrors in your back, we can see everything from behind. All right, well, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.